G-Star is in liquidation. 200 jobs are now gone. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee, because we have another story in the ongoing retail recession that's been happening in Australia since the beginning of the year, and has only been exacerbated by the tremendous lockdowns and restrictions we've had on our economy. Now, there's one brand that we spoke about before and is now doing the rounds, G-Star Raw, a denim, jeans brand. I can't say I'm up with it, but they've now gone into liquidation. They've gone through the administration process, and I thought we'd have a look at the different steps that have happened in that process. Now, they've got 57 stores around Australia. So 200, they're going to be liquefied or liquidated. Not liquefied, liquidated. And their staff, about 200, are going to lose their jobs. They were not able to find a buyer. This is the administration process where administrators come in and try to restructure the company. They've got protections in place to try and find a buyer to save something of the business, but it's not happening. I mean, you can see all the type of storefronts they have, pretty typical retail type of store. I can't complain. We've done a lot of them, a lot of retail stores. These signs are quite expensive. They're quite expensive. Are you a fan of G-Star, everyone? Let me know. This doesn't look like it's any different to any other jeans place. Really, what differentiation is there? I mean, your size, you can order it online. I mean, I guess it's all about the brand. I'm a middle-aged dad. I don't really care anymore, to be honest. So let's have a look. On the 15th of May, there was a notice of appointment of an administrator. So it was under administration. The administrators were Justin Walsh, Samuel Freeman, and Stuart McCallum. And it was noticed on the 15th of May. That was when the notice was issued. So the 15th of May this year, they went into administration. Then, on the 27th of May, this is also, they were intending to have a notice of they gave a notice of the first meeting of creditors of the company under administration. So now the company was under administration. G-Star was being managed by the administrators. And on the 27th of May at 11:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time, they had a teleconference. So if you were a creditor, if you were owed money by G-Star, you could ring up, sit in on the meeting, and, get listed as a creditor and hopefully get some of your money back that you're owed. The purpose of the meeting is to consider A, whether to appoint a committee of inspection, and if so, who are to be the committee's members. At the meeting, creditors may also by resolution remove the administrator from office and appoint someone else as administrators of the company. So they have the power to do that. Now, I've never been through this process. I've only been owed money by dodgy people in the construction game. No one that's ever gone under. Now, I'm sure there are people watching, tradies, that have been through this the hard way, where you've done work and builders have gone bust and you've tried to get something back. You'll be lucky if you get anything back sometimes. Maybe even a few cents in the dollar. There's some real horror stories out there. So creditors wishing to attend are advised proofs and proxies are to be submitted to the administrator by the 26th of May. So they had time to put in about a week, 10 days to put in. And you had to have these electronic facilities. Now, then on the 26th of June, the notice of a meeting, so the meeting of members of the Committee of Inspection occurred. So, and what is a Committee of Inspection? Before we go through this notice, let's have a look here. I've got this from what is it? The Australian Restructuring, Insolvency and Turnaround Association. The percentage of turnarounds, it's not really that high. Let's have a look at committees of inspections. I need to zoom that in so you can see it. So, you've been elected to be or are considering standing for the role of a member of a committee of inspection in either a liquidation, voluntary administration, or deed of company arrangement of a company, collectively referred to as an external administration. This information sheet is to assist you with understanding your rights and responsibilities as a member of a COI. What is a COI? A committee of inspection is a small group of creditors elected to represent the interests of creditors in the external administration. The COI advises and assists the external administration and also has the power to approve and request certain things. This is discussed in more detail below. Membership of the COI is a voluntary, unpaid position. So you don't get paid for it, guys, while the administrators do. So who can be elected to a COI? To be eligible to be appointed as a member of a COI, a person must be a creditor, a person holding the power of attorney of a creditor, a person authorized in writing by a creditor, or a representative of the Commonwealth where a claim for financial assistance has or is likely to be made in relation to unpaid employee entitlements. If a member of the COI is a company, it can be represented by an individual authorized in writing to act on the creditor's behalf. It also allows the creditor to maintain its representation if a change in the individual is required. A COI usually has between 5 and 7 members, though it can have more or less depending on the size of the external administrator. A member of a COI can be appointed by a resolution at a member of creditors. An employee or a group of employees owed at least 50% of entitlements owed to employees of the company. A large creditor or group of creditors that are owed at least 10% of the value of the creditor's claims. If an employee or group of employees or a large creditor or group of creditors appoints a member to the COI, they cannot vote on the general resolution of creditors or appoint members to the COI. Each of these groups also has the power to remove their appointed member of the COI and appoint someone else. If you are absent from 5 consecutive meetings, wow, how long do some of these things go on for? Of a COI without leave of the COI, you become an insolvent under administration, you are removed, or you become an insolvent under administration, you are removed from the COI. So what are the roles and powers of a COI? A COI has the following roles: to advise and assist in the liquidator, voluntary administrator, or deed administrator, collectively referred to as the external administrator; to give direction to the external administrator; to monitor the conduct of the external administrator. In respect of directions, the external administrator is only required to have regard to those directions. If there is a conflict between the directions of the COI and the creditors, the directions of the creditors prevail. If the external administrator chooses not to comply with the directions of the COI, the external administrator must document why. A COI has the power to approve remuneration of the external administrator after the external administrator has provided the COI with a remuneration approval report, a detailed report setting out the remuneration for undertaking the external administration. Approve the use of some of the external administrator's powers in liquidation. Compromise of debts over 100,000 and entering into contracts over 3 months. Require the external administrator to convene a meeting of the company's creditors, request information from the external administrator, approve the destruction of the books and records of the external administration on the conclusion of the external administration. With the approval of the external administrator, obtain special advice or assistance in relation to conduct the external administration. Apply to the court for the court to inquire into the external administration. An external administrator is not required to convene a meeting of creditors if the request by the COI is unreasonable, or provide requested information if the request is unreasonable, not relevant to the administration, or would cause the external administrator to breach their duties. A request to convey a meeting of creditors is reasonable if it would substantially... What am I doing with my reading? I need a coffee here. A request to convey a meeting of creditors is unreasonable if it would substantially prejudice the interests of a creditor or third party. There are insufficient funds in the external administration to cover the costs of the requests. A meeting of creditors dealing with the same matter has already been held or will be held within 15 business days, or the request is vexatious. If a request for a meeting is reasonable, the external administrator must hold a meeting of creditors as soon as reasonably practical. A request for information is unreasonable. Yeah, okay, we'll jump through that. How does the COI exercise its powers? The COI exercises its powers by passing resolution at meetings of the COI. To pass a resolution, a meeting must be convened and a majority of members of the COI must be in attendance. What restrictions are there on COI members? A member of a COI must not directly or indirectly derive any profit or advantage from the external administration. This includes by purchasing assets of the company. That's interesting. I bet you that's been happened before. Or by entering into a transaction with the company or a creditor of the company. This prohibition extends to related entities of the member of the COI and a larger creditor the appointment and that appoints a member to the COI. Where can you get more information? From their website. So that's quite interesting. I think that gives quite some insight into the process. So on the 26th of June, they had the meeting. Agenda items: to receive and consider a report from the external administrators, to consider a summary of the receipts and payments of the external administrators, to fix or determine the remuneration of the external administrators and any other business, to provide an update on the sale process, discuss the terms of the proposed agreement, discuss future strategy of the administrators. And then it's the electronic facility. Then, on the 13th of August, they had the second meeting of the second meeting of the creditors of the company under administration. So, via teleconference, the purpose of the meeting is to receive the report by administrators about the business, property affairs, and financial circumstances of the companies, to receive a statement of administrators' opinions and reasons for their opinions. A, whether it would be in the creditors' interest for the companies to execute a deed of company arrangement, whether it would be in the interest of the creditors' interest for the administration to end, whether it would be in the creditors' interest for the company to be wound up, and this is what they've chosen. 3, receive a statement of such other information known to the administrators as will enable the creditors to make an informed decision about the matters in paragraph 2A to C. To receive details of any transaction that appear to the administrators to be avoidable transaction in respect of which money, property, or other benefits may be recoverable by a liquidator under Part 5.7b of the Act. To receive details of any proposed deed of company arrangement, and for the creditors of the companies to resolve that the companies execute a deed of company arrangement, or the administration or administrations should end, or the companies be wound up. Other agenda items to be discussed: the remuneration of the administrator, the future remuneration of the administrator, to determine the deed administrators or a liquidator, further remuneration if appointed, to consider the appointment of an alternative deed administrator or liquidator, if the company is wound up, to consider the appointment of a committee of inspection, and if so, who are to be the committee members. So now they're going in another stage because they're winding up the company, liquidating it. If the company is wound up, to consider the early destruction of books and records and any other business. And then on the 13th of August, notice is given that on resolution date set out below, the company is taken because of paragraph 44.6a to have passed a special resolution under S491 of the that the company be wound up voluntarily. So Justin Dennis Walsh is the liquidator, and that's the end. That's the end of G-Star. And they are a business. They're a business that employ a lot of people. We'll have a look here. Let's click on the About to learn about them. Created in 1989, G-Star's philosophy has always been just the product. This single-minded approach has led to many denim firsts. The introduction of luxury denim for the streets by fusion of high-level craftsmanship with street-level edge to create a new denim sector. The positioning of raw, untreated denim as a wearable and desirable material, and the evolution of our distinct denim silhouette through the adoption of architectural and 3D thinking into denim construction. Well, it's a bit of a shame. You know, a business from 89 that's been going on for many years, that employs 200 people, has 57 stores, is going into liquidation. What do you all think, guys? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. I thought it'd be interesting just to go through the different steps that happen in this process. So when we hear about all of the, such and such going into administration, going to liquidation, what's happened? Have you been involved in a company winding up? What was it like? Were you a creditor? Did you manage to get any of your money back? Were you on any of these committees of inspection? As always, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or Kucoin. You can buy merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, have a great day, and I will see you all in the next episode.